As young men, a lot of us are struggling out there. A lot of us are dealing with anxiety, ADHD, being overworked, having to overtrain, and juggling multiple responsibilities. We're spending a lot of time indoors. We don't have access to a lot of things that used to bring us the good dopamine that we're used to having. And as a result, it seems like more and more of us are having trouble with our testosterone. I was, of course, one of those people, and after trying for almost 2.5 years to bring my testosterone up after my huge burnout, I decided to go on TRT. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my entire TRT protocol, how much I'm taking, any supplements I might be using, and any potential side effects that I might need to be worried about. So I know what you guys are here for. We're gonna get right to the good stuff. We're gonna get into how much TRT am I taking. Currently, my dosage is about 100 milligrams per week. Now, honestly, that's something that's pretty standard for a lot of people who are just starting TRT. It's definitely probably like one of the lowest doses you would be taking is about 100 milligrams a week. Now, I am using testosterone cypionate instead of test enanthate. And the reason for that is that testosterone cypionate actually lasts longer in your blood versus the enanthate. And so you can actually get more stable energy over time rather than having peaks and troughs like you would with the enanthate. I'm also injecting about twice a week. And I think this is gonna provide me the best balance between like getting stable blood levels over time versus having to inject all the freaking time. Because who wants to pin themselves like 4 times a week in the name of having the most stable testosterone levels ever? No one, right? So I'm doing 2 injections of 50 milligrams each twice a week. Before I got on TRT, my levels were somewhere anywhere from 200 to 270 nanograms per deciliter on average. I haven't done any testing because my body is of course getting used to the new dosage. I will do blood work in about 6 to 8 weeks, and that'll show me how well the testosterone is actually going into my system and what my levels are at that time. Now the second thing I'm doing is adding in HCG, and this is basically going to keep testicular function running even though I'm taking TRT. Now a lot of you guys know that if you take TRT, you're going to shut yourself down. Now I'm not particularly worried because I've seen my levels be low for multiple years, and I kind of came to terms with this and really thought about it before I got started. But HCG will keep alive any sort of fertility or any function that I have in my testicles, even though I'm taking TRT. So my dosage for that is about 250 IUs twice a week, injected subcutaneously, which means not into the muscle, it's injected into my belly fat. And it's not really a huge dose because, let's be honest, I'm not trying to have kids anytime in the near future, and I'm not particularly worried about maximizing my fertility. Now that might change in the future if I decide that fertility is a huge priority, but for right now, it's just about maintaining function while I'm taking my TRT. Now taking TRT and trying to gain muscle isn't just about taking the TRT. You still have to do the work, you still have to optimize your body, right? So I wanted to talk about some of the supplements that I'm taking to maximize my potential while I'm on TRT. So starting off, we're gonna take vitamin D3 and K2. Now vitamin D is just good for you in general, especially in the winter months. If you're not getting enough sunlight, it boosts your mood, it helps regulate hormonal balance. Even though I'm on TRT, I do have other hormones, and I'd like to make sure that I'm getting in the adequate amount of nutrients that I need. Now the other thing that I'm taking is glutamine. After going through heavy dieting phases in the past and now trying to pack on muscle, I obviously have to eat more. And so I want my digestion to be running properly, and I don't want to be dealing with indigestion when I'm trying to train. I want my gut health to be good. And so L-glutamine is something that I've been taking and I've noticed has made a massive difference in my digestive health. L-glutamine is basically an amino acid that can help you in things from muscle growth and repair, to immune function, to intestinal health, to energy production. And I have noticed a huge difference in my gut function after I started taking L-glutamine. Now the other thing I'm taking are omega-3 fish oils, and this is just to reduce inflammation. I tend to beat my body up. I tend to work hard, and especially as you're building up, your tendons and ligaments take a lot of beating on TRT. A lot of times if you take these sorts of hormones, your muscle growth will outpace your tendon growth, and so I want to make sure that I'm providing enough things for my inflammation to go down, let my tendons recover properly. And for that reason, I think the omega-3 fish oils are making a huge difference. They help my brain, they make me feel good, calmer, and they kind of make my body just function a little bit better. Another thing I'm taking is collagen peptides because I do like to do a lot of calisthenics, which are heavy on the joints, and having collagen in your diet can actually help your joints recover a lot better, especially if I'm going to be lifting heavy weights on top of that and I'm taking TRT. I really need all the joint support I can get, and for that reason, taking the collagen peptides. For the diet, I actually plan to do a deeper dive later on, but really I'm just keeping it kind of lean and clean. I'm going for lean meats, fruits, some veggies, a little bit of white rice, honey, kind of like this modified animal-based diet that I'm just finding is working really well for my digestion as I'm trying to ramp up and put on muscle. And now we move on to the side effects that I'm worried about or not worried about. One of the things you need to watch on TRT is actually your estrogen levels, because if you have too much testosterone, what you can do is aromatize and start having too much estrogen. And you don't really want that. Now, I'm not really super worried about this because generally having higher body fat is a better indicator that you will aromatize more. I tend to stay fairly lean, and so I'm not really worried about it that way. On top of that, my estrogen was actually crashed before, and so a little bit of estrogen would actually do me some good, probably make me feel better. The other thing I'm watching out for, and I've already kind of noticed, is water retention. I'm definitely retaining a little bit more water, a little bit more fullness, honestly, in the muscles, but it can mess with your head a little bit and kind of make you think you're gaining weight when maybe you're gaining a little bit of water. So I don't know how that's gonna have to change, how my body will adjust as time goes on. But I do prefer a leaner, drier look most of the time. And so right now I'm maybe a little bit more watery than I would be. So that's a side effect that you might want to consider if you are looking in TRT. The third thing is hematocrit and red blood cell count. Now, I actually used to go anemic a lot of times. So again, here I'm not really worried, but if you do take TRT and your testosterone levels go too high, you can get too many red blood cells and you will actually start having to donate blood to reduce your blood pressure. And honestly, that's probably not a place I want to get to with my dosage. Right now, I don't seem to be having any issues. If anything, it's maybe just helping me stay a little bit warmer, a little bit calmer. And I always need more red blood cells, to be honest, so I'm not super worried. And the last thing is acne and oily skin. Now, I've always been someone who generally doesn't really struggle with that, but I have noticed an increase in oil production after TRT. And so I have been kind of reducing the amount of oils and fats that I'm eating. Not necessarily going low fat, but paying more attention to the quality and types of fats and the quantity per meal that I'm eating. So I might not be eating a ton of fatty red meat. I'm probably going for leaner cuts. And I do still have saturated fats like coconut oil because I find that they digest better for me. But maybe just the dosage that I'm having per meal has been toned down from 10 grams to 5 grams at a time. And occasionally I might even go for the olive oil instead of the coconut oil just to kind of see if that reduces the inflammation. I'll also add in vegetables strategically to make sure I'm getting in fiber and to make sure I'm not overloading myself with kind of fatty, salty things. I do eat lots of fruit, I eat lots of zucchini. I'm not generally someone who tends to go overboard with a lot of unhealthy food, but I just want to keep an eye on it because who wants to have oily skin and acne? Not me. So that is my full protocol for TRT currently. I'll be doing a follow-up video talking about how my levels have changed, any other side effects that I'm having, different things I might be doing to reduce side effects or any new side effects that come up. Make sure to comment down below if you found this video helpful. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can stay up to date when I post new content. And if you're interested in testosterone, then make sure to check out this video right here where I talk about the 4 critical mistakes that you're making that are actually ruining your testosterone levels as a young man. And until next time, I'm out.